Okay, so this is my response to being challenged by RT Spacer to answer 10 questions. And when I first thought about it, I met with the guys and asked them what they thought, whether I would even have enough viewers if I asked for 10 questions, if I would even get 10 questions. And so, we had our little meeting, and here's what the guys thought. First of all, Pepsi Jeff, I take that as a yes. He thought we'd get enough questions. But then Rainbow Jeff, it's kind of a smirk with the folded arms. I don't think he thought we'd get enough questions either. Then DuPont Pepsi Jeff, he was pretty excited. He said, sure, go ahead with it. I think you'll get enough. But then Bobblehead Jeff, he was like, no, I don't think so. So we got back together. Me and the guys decided to ask RT Spacer. He said, ask for the questions. If you don't get enough, use some of the stock answers or questions and answer them. And fortunately, two of the people that responded asked 2 questions, so we had a total of 10. And here are my replies to your questions. Okay, thank you for that question. And this one right here would be the most expensive one as far as, how much was paid for it in my diecast collection. And my wife bought this as a present for me for Valentine's Day. I guess, that would have been Valentine's February 1999, because this vehicle is celebrating Jeff Gordon's 3rd championship, which was 1998. And this is by Brookfield Collectors Guild, and it's like, a gold colored chrome vehicle, the truck and the car. And I don't know, I think she paid a little bit over $100 for it on QVC, which, I wish she hadn't, but she wanted to get it for me for Valentine's Day that year, and it was a really nice gift to get, and it's been a central part of my diecast collection ever since then. So thanks for that question. And I know RT Spacer liked this one because he loves trailers. And you can take this whole thing apart. Car comes off the trailer detaches. It's got the little wheel on the bottom so it can stand by itself. We won't do that right now, but of course I can't get it back together. So anyway, that's the most that's been paid for a diecast in my collection. Thanks for that question. Wow, that's a good question. Thank you for the question. So I guess we better get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. I'm just kidding here. My database, I have a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet database, is not up to date because of recent purchases, recent trades. So roughly, I would say I have about 750 Hot Wheels in my collection. And as you can see, I like to display my Hot Wheels. So I'm running out of room. And if you mean 1/64 scale cars, I have probably about 500 to 600 Matchbox, and then I have, Maisto Racing Champions, Johnny Lightnings. So I would say probably about 1,500 would be a good estimate. Not a big collection, but like I said, running out of room. Wow, that is a good question, and trust me, I have put a lot of thought into that, and I think I've finally come up with my favorite driver since Jeff Gordon has been retired now. What do you think, Jeff? Do you think we've come up with somebody? No? No? Well, I guess you wouldn't think that. Let's see what little Jeffy thinks. Anybody but... Oh, come on, that's not right. Is that right? Well, what are you saying? That is right? That's not right. Anybody but Bush. That's not nice. Okay, nonchalant Jeff. He's put in a vote for Harvick. Yeah, I'll give that a thumbs up. I like Kevin Harvick. Excited Jeff says Brad Keselowski. I give that a thumbs up too. I like him too. Okay, so we've got a vote for Kevin Harvick, a vote for Brad Keselowski. Pepsi Jeff has decided to not be so negative, and he's going to give a vote to Kyle Larson. I'll give that a thumbs up. I like Carl Larson. So who's it going to be, Jeff? Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski. No? None of them? Okay, excited Jeff says it's Eric Almirola driving the number 10 car for Stewart-Haas. That's who I've settled on as my new favorite driver. Couple of reasons. Number one, this guy driving last year was in a terrible accident May the 13th and fractured a vertebrae in his back. And he came back 1 day shy of 2 months later to continue racing in the Petty number 43. Now, in his short career, he only has one win at the Cup level, driving, that was in 2014, the Petty number 43. And this year he took over the number 10 car for a certain unnamed driver. I think you all know who she was and how I felt about her as a Cup driver, because in her 5 full years driving the number 10, she never finished higher in the points than 24th. She had 0 top 5 finishes, 7 top 10s, And in 190 races in that car, she led a grand total of 64 laps. And a lot of those laps led were when other people came to the pit to get gas, and she stayed out on the track. So this unnamed driver was replaced by Eric Almirola this year. And Eric has proceeded to take basically the same car, same team, and he has made the playoffs, and in 28 races has led 116 laps. He's had 2 top 5 finishes and 12 top 10s. Both of those more than the previous driver of this car had in 5 full years. So to answer your question, I have picked my new favorite driver, Eric Almirola. Okay, buddy, thanks for that question. And this answer is probably going to surprise you and everybody else more than any other answer. The 2 notebooks right there, even though the one has a NHRA drag racing sticker on it, these notebooks represent almost 20 years worth of daily high and low temperature data that I have collected for my local zip code. And the reason that I've done this every day for almost 20 years is because I wanted to prove to myself, and not just take the word of those who believe in global warming and those who don't believe in it. And I wanted to find out, is that true? What does the data say for my particular area, which I know is just a small microcosm of data compared to globally. But I've done this, here you see there's 2000, and what the yellow represents, if it's highlighted yellow, that means for that particular month it was the average daily temperatures were higher than normal, and if it's not highlighted, then it was at or below normal. And so I've been doing this for, like I said, almost 20 years, and it started out plotting it in graphs in this little notebook, and it has grown into plotting it in Microsoft Excel. So all of these charts are now old, but yeah, this is something that I collect quite a bit of, to answer your question. And thank you for your question.